Hey guys, and welcome back to Wild Magic and the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Today, we'll be talking about the character sheet, which is the piece of paper you'll be interacting with every single time you play. Your class determines which are your best stats. There's no such thing as a person who is an all-rounder in Dungeons and Dragons. There's always someone who does one thing. There's the healer, there's the tank, the cleric is the healer, sorry. There's also the person who does damage, usually the fighter. There's the wizard who basically does everything. Wow. Huh. Dungeons and Dragons is rich with culture and races. There's so many races in Dungeons and Dragons. There's cat people, rat people, dragon people, filthy little halflings, gnomes, and regular people. Did you see this bit?
No.
Oh man. Basically all of the things you see in Lord of the Rings, yes, possible, even and basically, all of these classes determine whether you have special abilities, like whether you can reroll ones, or fire breath. Background, sometimes overused or sometimes completely ignored. The background feature of your character determines your roots, where you come from, the people you know, and whether you have extra help. For example, I used to be a noble and I had servants who could help me. Oh. Hit points is an important part of your character sheet. Hit points determines your health points. You are basically a bag of meat ready to be damaged. And when you hit 0, you have to roll saving throws or have someone heal you, or if you roll a natural 20, you will stabilize with 1 hit point. If you fail, you're dead. You gotta and then just burn it because your character's gone. He's gone. On the left side of your character sheet, you have 6 elements that make up your character. The strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, and charisma. The small number is your ability score, and the big number is your modifier score. So basically, what you do with your modifier score is you add them to your rolls. Woo! These stats determine what skills you have and how good you are at them. For example, strength. This determines how strong your character is, whether you can deadlift, whether you can lift that small rock at the corner. Can't do that for halflings, ha! Dexterity determines whether you're nimble, agile, or accurate. This is especially important for rogues and rangers, any other classes that need accuracy. Constitution is how many hit points you have, how strong your stomach is, whether or not you're resistant to poison, and even how long you can hold your breath underwater, or not underwater, like standing in front of a store manager, if you want to be weird. Wisdom is your street smarts and how well you can see from the distance or how well you perceive whether someone's lying or telling the truth. Charisma, I don't know, man. Charisma is how sexy you are, how sexy you sound, and how people perceive you. So they may think you're super strange, or good looking, or ugly. Intelligence is basically how smart your character is. This will help you with your arcana checks, investigation checks, whether or not you're good at looking for something. Apparently there's minimum intelligence to be able to read, or whether you're sentient. So, the bottom left of the paper refers to proficiencies. This can refer to weapon proficiencies, or if you refer to this side, all the skills proficiencies, whether or not you're good at it. And then also there's language proficiency, basically what languages you are good at. So most characters are good at common, but depending on your class, race, and background, you may have extra language abilities, or have less language abilities. Let's talk about these 3 shapes you see in the middle of the paper. The shield is armor class. Basically, this number is what the enemy has to roll against, so if it hits that number or beyond that number, then they hit you. Initiative is basically how ready you are for combat. We'll talk about that in the combat video. Movement, speed. Speed is basically how far your character can walk, or move, or fly. Spells. There's so many spells in the worlds of Dungeons and Dragons. So much that I can't even list them here. But you know what you can do is go to Wild Magic in Surusup and get yourself a Player's Handbook. Woo! And go to chapter 11. Wow, what's that? It's a chapter especially for spells. Amazing. Amazing. And that's all for character sheets for now. If you have any more questions, do drop by at the Wild Magic store in Surusup. And don't forget to follow us in the links below on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. My name is Nazz, and halflings are not that cute. Sometimes they are. Rat people do exist!